Sometimes I feel like if they played my life for my parents, my mom will cry.
Right?
Because then you see the mistakes. I'm not saying I'm going to be the best mother I will aspire to be, but again, you see this relationship thing, have it. Have it with your child.
Yeah.
Because if they come to you first, second, they will resent you.
Yeah. They start keeping to themselves.
They will resent you.
You know? And that's when they tend to make mistakes.
My saving grace was the fact that my stubbornness was cut across everything. It wasn't stubbornness to be dubious and follow men. No, it's stubbornness that if a man even came to me like at that age, I will insult you. I will look for one thing deformed in your body. I used to look for deformed. I will look for one thing in your body. I won't even curse you normal curse. Say you the crazy, they mad. Are you stupid? No, I will tell you your eyes is at passport. So that's the kind of child I was. So it was like my stubbornness. I wasn't stubborn to become one.
Yeah.
No. You don't have.
You were an equal of
Stubborn.
girl.
So if you even come to me, you would have the risk.
Yeah.
There's one man that I insulted so badly. When the man came to my house, when I saw him in my house, I thought he came to report to my mom. No, when he saw him, he was like, he was not praising me in front of my mom. I was like, correct guy there. This one knows what help. Because if you open your mouth there, I will insult you.
when I wrote my jam,
Yeah.
you know how you're trying to get into school by all means possible. You've not even waited. You've not even seen results, right?
Yeah.
There's this friend of mine I used to visit. Her mom was my literature teacher in school then. So I went, and somehow opposite their house there's a computer center. I don't know the contact we got. The person was supposed to help us do I can't remember what it's called. You know this thing when your name is not in the first list. Substitution. I can't remember what it's called.
Yeah.
There was like another list. Yeah.
So we got their contact. They were like, "Oh, come." I think my sense didn't load full like up to 30. Because tell me why at that age. Tell me why at 17. So what we exchanging number and be like, I was quite naive.
Yeah.
I was very naive. My daughter at 5 probably knows more because I tell her as it is.
Yeah.
You understand? So this man said, okay, come. This is how much you pay. I'm going to work this out. And I took it innocently. Like I didn't bother to start wondering what happens when you visit a man unaccompanied. What can happen? This is an older man. So I carried my 2 left legs and went to their house in one. I knocked. The man entered. The man sat. I heard a lady's voice in the bedroom. I said, thank God, at least there's a woman, you know. I said, sir, I came for the school thing. This is the money so that I can get the form. Tell me why I'm not talking to my parents. Because yes, I think parents have a role, but I also think we get coconut head.
No, it's the economy. It's society. It's society. Continue.
Because why am I talking to a stranger about that?
Yeah, because why are you talking to a stranger for your admission? Why it should be your parents?
Your parents handling.
Yes, you and your parents. You write your exams.
They're so involved. School will contact your parents.
Children are the ones.
You will hustle your way.
This story I'm telling
to be honest, you hustle your way.
One story like that. One man that was trying to help us, me and my friend with admission. So he invited me to come to his hotel.
It's like everybody have the same story in Nigeria.
I think my jam score wasn't up to, my post-UME score wasn't up to. They're like, okay, bring your results, I'm going to help you. For me, I have said more than that. I look at this man. You're not my dad. You're not my uncle. I'm not. And I got my other friend, and I'll go and look for someone that is beautiful that will go with me. So in case if you have interest in me, when you see someone fine now, you. I went to my friend's house. I waited for her to get ready. The man gave me, I think he said 10 a.m. or so. My friend was still delayed. I had to wait so that I had someone that will help us. So I didn't want to go alone. Do you know when we got to that? You know the man was in this hotel close to Federal. You know that bus stop where Federal
is.
Yeah, that's yes. So I like my friend.
At TSB.
Yes. That's. So I was looking at this man. So he was like, "Oh, you came with your friend?" I said, "Yes." And I said, "Okay, I brought my posterior review. And I said, okay, you know what? Go to I should go down to Gampo and make a photocopy for him. I knew what he wanted.
And leave your friend.
Yes,
So you
I
and
knew
your
my
you can start
I
with your
wanted to take her number. And I smiled. I left. He took her number. So when we now left, my friend was telling me that he took her number to start, you know.
But what's wrong with all these men too? Like, these are children. Most of these men, they have daughters at home.
Yeah. Just because
They have daughters the same age or probably
older. Or even older.
That's why.
What is
it
wrong
falls
with
on
them?
us as parents
Yeah.
What is wrong?
to keep an eye on our.
Do you know the one I can't take is women that would know that their husbands are involved in things like this.
Let me finish my story.
What are you staying there to do?
Let me finish my story. Let me finish my story. Tell me why I entered this man's house and Okoro is tying rubber.
I did all myself.
I went alone.
Oh.
I was very.
So the woman was his wife.
I don't know who she was, but she's not a good person.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Because I saw a video yesterday. Was it yesterday or the day, where somebody noticed, you know, kidnapping. I don't know if it's America, but it's almost done in daylight, where they will just like grab and take.
Yeah.
I saw another lady realize the pattern, the way somebody was strategically standing behind the door when this girl was just, bouncing and all, and the way they just slap and that's you inside and they're gone. So immediately the girl was getting close to the door, the lady ran, and that was so like there are women like that are good. They're not just vigilant for themselves, for other children.
See, I was, I think 16 thereabouts, and I was sitting in the living room. Waiting, welcome sir, would you have a drink? I said I don't want a drink. I came for my admission stuff. He was now untying and retying his rubber.
Like, oh, it was even a flasher. Oh my god.
I was already uncomfortable. All the scenarios my mother has warned me about started
Can you
happening.
imagine?
I was like, God, if you deliver, if I go home, even the university, I don't want to get here.
And that's the thing.
Let me just.
Some
get
people make up their mind from that kind of situation not to even go again. They fold.
See, I was so scared. I was scared of rape. I was scared of, and I was also scared of what my parents will say.
Yeah.
Funnily enough, I was scared if something happens to me.
Yeah, they'll blame you now.
Yeah.
Of course,
It's gonna be-
they always blame.
My father will ask, is the person mad? Why is it you of all the people in the
In
world?
that moment, it occurred to me, Olivia, you took your two left leg and
Went to
a
this man's house.
Knock, they opened the door, you entered, he locked the door.
And that's 12 stroke
If
already.
they
They'll beat you
ask
for
you-
that first.
Yeah.
If they ask you what you were doing, what will you say you were doing there? The world will blame you.
Yeah.
This man, I said, sir, please,
But
I
it
want
needs
to
to-
go.
it
I
needs
don't
to
want to
stop.
do the, I don't want to do the thing again, please. I don't want to do the school again.
You know,
I started begging him. I said, please, sir, let me go. He said, no, he had a bunch of recharge cards. It was like, MTN, Glow, what do you... I said, sir, I'm not interested in recharge card. Actually, I just want to go. So I'm pressed. I want to be. He said, you can use it. I said, I want to be now.
you know the difference between me and you, Olivia. When that man was flashing, that's why I would have said, "Oh God, what's going on?" Because me, I was mounted. God,
I'm the fourth in a family of 5. Growing up, I didn't like confrontation. I was very...
you're one of those
Resentful.
respectful child.
We don't.
I was a good girl. Now I will confront you.
Go ask my
I will
mother.
confront you. I will confront your mother.
Go and ask my mother. Me and my immediate elder sister, we are the black sheep. If there's anything blacker, it is us.
That was my younger sister.
That's what I'm saying. Me, as he's doing that flashing thing, I would have asked, "Oga, sorry, what's going on? I'm seeing your PPO." As you open, I have seen your
Even
PPO.
till today, sometimes I still, maybe I'm about to doze off. I will see that man sitting. I will wake up.
Hey, if I'm booking therapy. We all need to go. Let's all go join therapy.
I was traumatized. So this lady walks out of the room, and I'm like, "Oh, my savior, my salvation is here."
Allah.
I said, at least she'll interfere. She'll ask what's going on.
Yeah.
She goes up. I said, Auntie, I want to go. She just looked at me, looked away. She didn't say a word.
There's special hellfire for women like
And
that.
she just walked
There's
in.
special hellfire.
I don't know if she...
They'll be closer to the oven.
If
Those
she's
women.
his wife, I don't know what their relationship is, but I didn't know women could be that callous and unconcerned.
There are women that even there are women that their daughters will go to them that their husbands are probably either stepdad or even real dad abusing them. They want to stay married. That's what I'm saying. See, in this life, you're not so important past transport money out of marriage.
Yeah, right.
Transport money out of marriage is the most important thing any woman can have. Because even if you're not leaving the marriage for real, even if you can just pay transport out I go somewhere else and think, maybe when you're coming back, you will change your approach. Now you deal with this man, because it's some of these situations, some of these women, it's not like they didn't know, right from wrong. But by the time they even know that they don't have transport out of here, they will just say, "You're lying.
Yeah,
you're lying. Shut up, Olivia."
You're right.
It's sad. Transport money, very important.
So I think community matters. Now that's one thing we do in Nigeria a bit that I like, because here nobody sends you. Nobody sends your papa. But in Nigeria there's this, it takes a village to raise a child mentality we're trained with.
Oh, but now it's different too. I don't want that village to raise my child in Nigeria. Because now you don't know what people are up to.
Hold on. So this is where I'm going to. I want my daughters to go through their adolescence, to go through their crazy years, the years when the hormones are all over the place, the years when, even if for one moment they wake up and feel like, I feel like talking to mommy today, I want her to have someone to talk to.
Oh yeah, that's important. There has to be somebody. She connects with other than you.
There has to be another woman.
It's a healthy way of living.
Another woman who I can trust. Another woman whose values are similar to mine.
Exactly. That's why I said that village has to be scrutinized. You have to trust the value of that person. And I think now it's very modern with the whole godmother thing. Unlike before, godparents were like, I think it was just a title, and I don't even. But now people try and play that role. Like if you're a godparent, like you want to be close. You try and make this child know that, okay, I'm the next person you can talk to. If you're not feeling your mom at the moment. So yeah, I think I agree with you. This generation is doing something a little bit different, but again, you still have to see. I want parents to be Hulk. Your eyes should be like this.
Let me tell you,
even on your godparents, the person you've appointed.
Let me tell you something, right? Let me tell you why I'm saying this. We can't always be the mothers that we want to be. That's just facts. So to prevent a scenario where you paint a perfect picture and say, this is how I'm going to train my children. This is what happens the day that you're sick and in hospital and your child needs someone to speak to. This is life.
Oh yeah.
Let me tell you why I say this. So 2 years ago, I went to therapy. Ask me why I went to therapy. To ask my therapist how I will stop shouting as a Nigerian mother.
That's in his gene. Are you trying to change your gene, babe? Stop trying to be something else.
Wait now. There is who I want to be, because the path to being that person, that mother that your teenage daughter confides in, that your 8-year-old talks to, say there's a boy in my class I like. It has to be a balance. There has to be a sort of like a balance where
you're so right. Yeah,
to speak with you. So to be that person, I knew that I couldn't do motherhood the way I was.
The way you're going about it.
Yeah,
something has to change.
Small thing will happen. I've shouted to it. Then when I see her tiny hands, she's coming. I'm like, oh my god, this is just a 2-year-old or a 3-year-old or a 4-year-old. So when my daughter was 4, I went to therapy. I said, teach me how not to shout, because you can't give what you don't have.
Yeah.
Kudos to our mothers. They did the best they could with what they had. But there is better. And that better, you don't wish it. It's not something you wake up and say, I'm going to be a demure mom, very mindful, very cute.
Until they try
you. You want to use
toddler will try you. They will try you.
I said, inside me, I'm a pleasant person. But my child always bring out the worst thing, because why would she be at because she was in nursery then. I was really at nursery, and there's peace. I've already planned how we'll spend our day. When my husband comes back, when my daughter comes back, this is what I'll do. The minute they walk through the door, and she has flung this one, alarm is going off.
Oh my God.
And she said, well, the first step is, because I told her I don't want to raise a child who will be scared or anxious or who won't be close to me.
Yeah.
I want to
Yeah,
break that cycle. I don't want to have that kind of relationship. If you see, my daughter and I are close.
Yeah.
But more, it wasn't what went into it. And it's still going into it. And she said, in her practice, she's rarely ever had someone come in and say, teach me how to be a better mom. Teach me how to stop shouting. The first is you've acknowledged that this is a you problem. Because there's a place where you go
you're so right, because I'm actually at that stage. And you know the funny thing, it's not even just me. I've noticed almost everybody in my household right now talks with almost the same tone, like mommy's tone. Because that's the tone she's now used to responding to. The only person that doesn't shout in my house right now is my husband. Every other person, my nieces are shouting. I'm like, sometimes when they shout, I'll be like, these people are shouting at my daughter. But I realize that they got it from me, and she herself, that's the tone she responds to, because it's like,
when you're gentle,
when I'm gentle, it just doesn't work. Oh my God, it doesn't work.
But I think it's something that we as women need to work on.
Yeah, but you know we're Africans. Yeah?
Because I like you more. I like you more. I like where you're coming from. Leave Olivia. Say it.
We're Africans.
Yeah.
No matter how long we've been here, our own parenting is different from here. You understand? And think about it. A child raised in an African home. I'm not encouraging hitting a child, but you know we shout, we threaten, we do all
obviously,
stuff, But white people don't do that.
They negotiate. They negotiate. It's hard to do that, you know.
It's hard.
Somebody is just obviously misbehaving, and you're trying to negotiate.
The outcome.
See,
I think
it's not that I don't agree with you, but there has to be a balance. 3 of us have shared experiences that are similar. Did you enjoy it?
I did it, but I'm alright.
Want to be better? I don't know. Alright.
If I think we'll leave your mouth, because I'll tell you one thing. Whether I liked it or not, I knew at some point there was a period of, because I went to boarding school, and there was a time where the whole lesbian this thing was a vibe, and I just knew that won't fly in my house. My father will beat it. My father will beat you straight. Yeah. My dad will beat you straight. You will know your orientation that you're straight. So I knew that even if I was rebellious, I knew my level. I knew that kind of rebellion, it cannot reach that. You know, I mean, it cannot reach. So this shouting and beating and everything, it helps. There are still things I want to do that I will still hear my father's voice. Even in his old age, I feel like my father would.
He will appear.
Even God,
he will appear. Correct.
In this old age.
You know, I realized that. You see, shouting,
you've accepted my truth.
I can't stop. I'm sorry, but for hitting, I can.
Oh yeah, no.
But for shouting, it's not. As an African woman that I am.
Let me tell you. You know, before I used to, even on the phone while talking to Ngozi, I will scold her on the phone. I will scold her. I'll be like, Ngozi, what you doing?
But now, just calm down, Jake. But now, I want her. Let me.
I will be the one to tell. You know what the funny thing? I'll be the one to tell her. I'll call you back, because I don't even want. I don't want the shout. I don't need it on the phone. I don't need it on the phone. So I'll be like, Jane, cut the call. Because
Olivia, you know this woman. Then she'll be like, you know what? I think I'll call you back. Like, what is all this?
Stop shouting at the kids.
No, only one child. She wants to run mad.
One that is like 3. Somebody confirmed to me that just is like 2.5 boys. 2.5 boys, not just even girls. I say, God, what day
I bring out this? I didn't use it.
I called my mom.
Until I became a mom. I didn't use very soft.
Not even mom. Please correct it until you became a toddler mom.
Until I became a toddler mom.
I didn't know I was a mom. I thought it was all cute. The stress of getting them ready, putting them in change diaper, put them in the.
Older, let me tell you something. You're complaining. So
Now that she's talking back,
older they become, the more.
I started begging my mom more. I started begging my mom. I can't deal.
You're talking to her and she's like, sometimes she'll be like, you just do this.
Hey,
She has ended the conversation.
no, she's like you're a muppet. She's like this. Yes, actually.
What did she do? I just said go. I was like, because I didn't want to.
If I
Let's
decide
not
to
have this conversation now.
if I decide
Just leave my side. See, let me give my
let me tell you something. So when I wrote my book, so because the making of the holistic woman, I did some research. I wanted to understand why we are the way we are as women, right? This was a few years ago. Now I married into a family where they talk small.
Mm-hmm.
So being with my husband, there was a lot of disparity. I wanted to understand why is he like this and me I'm like this.
Yeah.
So I did.
It's in his hand.
So I did research. I talked to his mom, talked to people, looked around. One day I was talking to his mom, and you know what occurred to me? They didn't experience the war. Our parents, I don't know about your parents, but my mom,
They did.
war. Do you know what changes
No,
people?
yeah, of course, yeah.
My mom, as a toddler, as a young child, was in the war. My father was in the war. I think we have it easier than our parents had it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think our children will have it easier than we had it. I think things
Getting better.
Fingers
getting
crossed.
better.
Yeah.
Yeah. My parents, my mom, my dad, they grew up in a time when the civil war in Nigeria,
Yeah.
the hunger
Happened.
that came with it,
Mm-hmm.
the aggression that came with it, the violence that came with it. I'm wondering what parenting was like when you're running, when you're running from place to place, when you don't know what's for lunch tomorrow, when you can't plan. Do you get what I mean? So sometimes when I think about style of parenting, I think about how they were parented.
Yeah.
What circumstances were they parented in? And I think that doesn't excuse them, but it gives an insight into why they are the way they are, why they were the way they were. The high-handedness and all of that.
Yeah.
And for me personally, I like to take personal responsibility. If there's a problem, the first question I ask is, what's my role in this? What can I do to improve this? I don't ask what is A or B doing wrong.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Give out to blame.
Yes, I don't look for who to blame in second place. I look for what I can do to improve the
To
situation.
fix the
Yeah.
situation.
So I asked myself, was there food growing up? Did you have this? Did you have that? Compare that to how your parents grew up, and then come back and have this conversation, come back and guilt them, or come back and blame them,
Yeah.
come back and say they didn't try, because I think they did with the information they had,
Mhm.
right?
Sure.
Now, it wasn't until I became a mom that my mom finally apologized for something I kept telling her over and over that had happened to me while growing up, right? So I had brought a report home, and it wasn't accepted. Sometimes you will get accused just for saying so and so did so to me. So when I finished school, I went to Lagos. I got a job with a bank, and I went to stay with my cousin, a male cousin, not distant relationship, actual cousin, just to stay with him for a bit till I get my salary, set myself up and all that. We were quite close. He used to be in our house often. And then one night he starts doing magic finger, right? And I just take my things and go to the sitting room, just do nice video. Then the next morning, I carry my bag and I go home. I leave the job, I leave everything, I leave the hopes and dreams that I had had for Lagos. And it was going to be several years before I went back to Lagos, right? When I could afford to leave Lagos alone. or with my sister before I then got married. But when you bring this kind of stories home, oftentimes in the Nigerian household, you're not believed. There's this burden of, are you going to scatter the family?
I know. It's like
Don't say it loud. Don't say it out.
it's almost like
want you to act like it didn't
it's
happen.
almost like you're wrong that it happened to you.
Yeah.
How?
It's almost like you're being blamed for the evil that befell you.
Yeah.
You know? So sometimes the girl child learns to keep mute, learns to just accept whatever happens, learns to keep the peace. But I'm raising a troublemaker.
Oh, but that's not me. Oh. I was a rebel.
I'm raising my child to, if you see something, say something. If it concerns you, let me know. If it concerns somebody that doesn't, it's not even you that it concerns,
Say
let
it.
me know.
Say it
You
out.
will never be doubted. You will never be
Shamed.
shamed. There will never, the burden of proof will not rest so heavily on you.
Yeah.
If you tell me something, I will investigate. You don't have,
Yeah, exactly.
you don't have to be the one to do the extra work of proving that this
Proving
happened.
yourself that you were innocent in as a victim. How do you even? They don't. To be honest, they don't give you the time to even feel or process the fact that you are a victim before
Yeah.
you're not having to prove yourself. Oh, sad. It's sad.
Anyway, after a few years of different kind of things happening, I would tell my mom, after a while, if you talk and you're not believed, you stop talking
Yeah.
naturally.
Mm-hmm.
And then even if something worse happens, you just don't talk. And so one day I was on the phone with my mom. This was 2021. I had a miscarriage in 2020, the second and the worst miscarriage I've had. It turned my life upside down. I speak about it a lot.
Yeah.
And I was on the phone with my mom, and this issue comes up of something that had happened growing up that she had pushed aside. Because it's hurting, and you're hurting, and you see yourself hurting. It's been years, over a decade, but you just can't let go because you feel neglected, and you know. And then for the first time, I raised this particular issue, not the one I spoke about, something else that even my sister and I had gone to her to talk to her about, and she pushed us aside. She broke down on the phone and she cried. I cried, she cried, we let it all out. But it was healing, you know, for us. And she said something to me. She said, Chingwam, that's what she calls me. That's my Igbo name, that she's so sorry for not believing me. But that when they grew up, things like this weren't heard. You know, people don't speak about things like this. And it's now that she's on social media, because my mom is on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. She's bigger on TikTok than me, sir.
Media mama.
So it's now that she's, you know, heard people's story. You know, on social media, you're bombarded with stories.
Different stories.
Hide my identity.
Unbelievable stories.
Unbelievable stories from all over the world. So it's this social media that has helped expose her to these kind of things happening. Otherwise, that when I would say certain things, that she would feel like that's not possible. There's the part of I don't think this has happened, but also the part of I don't believe this happened. I think you're just making up a story, and it's not that I don't want to believe you. It's like I think it's naivety. You know?
Yeah.
You're just being naive.
Yeah.
You don't think that a cousin can do this. You don't think that a relation can do this. You don't think a mentor can do this. You don't think your child is talking to you. You don't think someone in a position of spiritual authority can do this to the
I
child.
think sometimes our mothers, they see too much of good in people, and that's a problem because then they cannot see past certain things that person. If you bring certain information about that person, they'll be like, you know, situations where they'll be like, no, how can she? Those kind of things. And it's just really sad because a lot of us got exposed to people that were that could harm us.
Yeah.
But because our parents believed in these people so much, and they wouldn't even want to reason or understand where you were coming from. The situations, in your case, it would be, oh, do you want to cause problem in the family between myself and your cousins, the parents, and all that? Or how can you say? It's almost like you shouldn't even say it out, like it cannot happen. Oh, wow.
And there's this feeling of shame. I know mothers don't talk about it often, but there's this shame, like you failed to protect your child. To acknowledge when something bad has happened to a child that you love, that you care for, to acknowledge that this has happened, to acknowledge it is for it to become real to you. It's for you to open yourself up to the pain that this will, because it hurts to hear that your beloved child
has gone through that,
has gone through something like this. So to shield yourself from the pain, to protect yourself, you deny it. So my mom and I, we talked that day. She cried, I cried. That was kind of like a turning point in my relationship with her. And she said, I had no idea. And I said, but I told you, and I kept trying to tell you over the years, and you would just shut me down. And she apologized. She said she didn't mean any harm by it, and the healing started.
I know when you finally you feel heard.
I know it's to feel heard.
You feel it's very relieving, and you can now start to properly heal from whatever that has hurt you. Oh well, our mothers, they did try, to be honest. Sometimes I look at my mom and working with what she had and looking at myself and my siblings, I do applaud her. I'll be honest with you, because I have just one child. One child, and God help me. I know some days I just want to really just scream, but our parents, they had to deal with everything. They had to deal with society. They still had to deal with religion. There's still some places where certain things are not allowed because of certain religion, but they did their best. Looking at my mom now, since I became a mom, I appreciate my mom so much now. So much. If you want to get to me, just come to my mom. You will definitely have access firsthand, because I now understand the sacrifice. I now see how much sacrifice went into raising me and my siblings. God.
Wow. Which brings me to the last question that we'll have today. And I'll start with you, Jane.
Okay.
What thing would you say you picked up from growing up in a Nigerian home? What part of your upbringing are you looking forward to, or have you even already started to recreate in your own home? Because it's not so bad. Our moms, they had the things they didn't do right, but they had a lot.
They did right.
For instance, we're still alive. We can't do that.
I know.
Have you tried to keep a 2-year-old alive? They want to put her inside electricity.
Inside fire. Come to me if you want to talk to me. Come direct me. See, when you want to talk to me directly. Do you know, some days I want my husband, I spend my whole day trying to keep your child alive.
Yeah, so I would say the values they instilled in us, especially respect. Most African, I won't say most, but I come from a family that holds respect very, it's of big importance that you respect everyone, both your elders and the people you are older than. Yeah, so, and that has it's something I want to instill in my children. And for now, I know they're already picking it up. They know that you have to show respect. It's very important. Yeah, so it's one thing I got from my parents, and I want to pass it on to. I'm working hard to pass it on to my children.
You're doing a good job.
You're doing
a good job. Another independent observer. You're doing a very good job. Yeah, because to be honest, we somehow I'm privileged to be one of the aunties that relates with our children, and I feel respected. And you feel that joy now. You buga when you see as a Nigerian auntie, when they come and say good afternoon, auntie, and the mother greet her well. And I say, yes, greet me well. We enjoy those kind of things, and it's really, really important. And I applaud you. You're doing a very good job.
Thank you.
Especially in this UK where
I
some
know.
people's head, some children don't hear what. You will find a lot of people who don't have those values. Eh?
Yeah.
Who don't have, and there's nothing you can do.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing you will do to them, and if they pass a stage, you will not beat them now.
Yeah, you won't.
And it's good to say it's something that her mom, passed on to them, because I've also seen adults that don't have respect. I don't even think they don't know they don't have respect.
Yeah.
That's even the one that is very
So
marvelous.
it's when they act. You
So-
wonder how were you raised? Who raised
the
you?
info you automatically goes to their parents, because
Yeah.
the first thing is like, who raised this one? And it's sad. God help me do better, because there are adults that you deal with, and the first thing you are like, seriously.
Yeah.
There was one funny English I had. I don't know if it's on TikTok or where. How do you form? My guy, you almost want to ask the person, how do you form? Like,
Yeah.
where? So it's also is a very good thing to pass on to your children. For me, I know, respect is very important, and I hope I can instill that in my daughter as well. But one family value I want to pass on to my daughter is that close-knitness, because my siblings and myself were very close, and I think it came from just my parents. You can't fight in my house. Oh God, my mother will become all dramatic.
Yeah.
Like, as siblings, whatever beef or whatever fight, we can do it outside.